Adi Shankaracharya was staying in a monastery at the foot of a quiet hill. Every morning, monks gathered after meditation to study the Upanishads. They listened to the teachings, reflected upon them, and then returned to silence. Among them lived one disciple whose dedication was known to everyone. He studied every scripture that reached the monastery. He memorized verses from the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Brahma Sutras. Whenever Shankaracharya gave a discourse, he listened carefully. Yet his mind was never at rest. Every day, a new question appeared. One morning he approached Shankaracharya and bowed. "Master, what is Brahman?" Shankaracharya replied, "Brahman is that which never changes." The disciple accepted the answer. The next day he returned. "If Brahman never changes, why does this world constantly change?" Shankaracharya said, "The changing world is known because of the unchanging." The disciple reflected on those words. The following day he came again. "If the self is already complete, why do I not experience it?" Shankaracharya answered, "You do not experience the self because you are never separate from it." Still, the disciple remained unsatisfied. Days became weeks. Each morning brought another question. What happens after liberation? Does the enlightened one think? Does karma remain? What is the highest meditation? Is samadhi necessary? Can ignorance return? Shankaracharya answered every question patiently. The disciple understood each explanation while listening. Yet by the next sunrise, another question had already taken its place. The other monks began to notice. His knowledge was increasing, but his restlessness remained exactly the same. One evening, after the monastery had become silent, Shankaracharya called the disciple to sit beside him. For a long time neither of them spoke. Finally Shankaracharya said, "For many weeks you have asked countless questions." The disciple bowed. "Yes, Master." Shankaracharya continued, "Today I shall answer every question you will ever have." The disciple looked up with attention. Shankaracharya asked only one question. "To whom do all these questions arise?" The disciple answered immediately, "To me." Shankaracharya nodded. "Who is this me?" The disciple replied, "I, the one sitting before you." Shankaracharya asked, "The body?" The disciple thought for a moment. "No." "The mind?" The disciple hesitated. "The mind asks the questions." Shankaracharya continued, "Then who knows that the mind is asking?" The disciple became silent. After some time he answered, "I know." Shankaracharya asked again, "Can that knower be questioned, as the mind is questioned?" The disciple remained silent. Shankaracharya continued, "Every question you have asked belongs to the mind. The mind asks because it seeks certainty. But tell me, does the one who knows the mind ever become uncertain?" The disciple did not reply. Shankaracharya continued, "When thoughts come, you know them. When thoughts disappear, you know their absence. When doubt appears, you know doubt. When certainty appears, you know certainty. That which knows all these changes, does it itself change?" The disciple closed his eyes. For the first time, he did not search for an answer. Several minutes passed. The night remained completely still. Shankaracharya spoke again. "As long as you believe every question must receive another answer, questions will never end. One answer produces another question, then another, and another. The mind can continue like this for a lifetime." The disciple slowly opened his eyes. Shankaracharya continued, "The purpose of true inquiry is not to collect answers. It is to discover the one to whom every question appears. When that is understood, the need for endless questioning comes to an end." The disciple asked softly, "So should I stop asking questions?" Shankaracharya smiled. "No. Ask until the questioner is examined. After that, the right question has already been asked." Silence returned. No scripture was opened. No verse was quoted. No new meditation was given. The disciple remained seated beside his teacher. For the first time, there was no desire to ask another question. Not because every answer had been found, but because attention had turned toward the one who had always been asking. Years later, the monks remembered that evening. Many teachings had been given in the monastery. Many scriptures had been explained. But they often spoke of one simple question that Shankaracharya had asked without argument, without debate, and without complexity. It was the question that did not answer the mind. It turned the mind back upon itself. And in that turning, the endless search for answers began to lose its hold. For the disciple, enlightenment did not begin with another explanation. It began with the clear recognition that before asking about Brahman, liberation, meditation, or truth, one must first discover the one who asks. When the questioner is understood, every other question finds its proper place. And when the questioner itself is no longer taken to be the self, the search comes to rest. There was no final answer, only a silence in which no further answer was required.